Good evening, this is Dr. Bonsai at Dr. Bonsai's Meme Emporium, and tonight I have for you another premium mech review. Battletech for a change. Gotta throw the change up every once in a while, keep things fresh. Anyways, this is from Catalyst Game Labs, produced by Monster Fight Club. This is the Black Knight Clan Buster version. It comes in two different... the glare's really bad. It comes in two different iterations, one with the hatchet and one without. Now, full disclosure, I know I'm not that big of a fan of the Black Knight. I know that's probably going to lose me some subscribers, but it was just never a mech that really came up for me personally as a gamer. So, but apparently it's the old bee's knees. Now you will remember quite rightly that this originally came out along with the Stormcrow miniature, the Stormcrow TC, through Blaine Pardo's company Creative Juggernaut. They did like one run of each mech. The quality wasn't there, so they discontinued it, and the premium line was kind of like dead for a little bit. And then they came back under the auspices of Monster Fight Club. And as you've probably seen from the rest of my reviews, they've been hit or miss. A lot of misses. But I am committed, unfortunately, to trying to be as fair about this as possible. So if this looks like it's going to stink, I will let you know. If not... By the way, the picture on Catalyst website is horrible. It's like some sort of like orange 3D printed thing, and it's like the arms are on like a big lug, and you think, oh wow, this is pretty fun. But oh wow, all right, so let's try to sort this out here. So let's go legs. Wow, there's a lot. They packed a lot into this thing. So there we go. So there's arm. Let me just adjust this real quick. There we go. So I'm trying to lay this out as nicely as I can. So, oh wow, okay. So we got two arms, arm. Interesting. How the hell many? Okay, here we go. All right. Wow, they crammed a lot into this little blister pack. So first things first, you have a standard 25 mil. I think it's 25 mil. Hex base, standard play. You gotta cut the lug off. Good to go. Then you have the torso. Now, if we're gonna be nitpicky, if we're gonna nitpick, and I will not a fan of the fixed head, especially since I do have the other one for comparison. So you can see the panel details a little bit deeper. Looks very much like a dude wearing a suit, armor suit. This one looks like it had a separate head, or is probably just a separate piece that was glued in place at the factory. And as you can see, that little hump on top of the small laser, I think that is not flash. That is indeed a feature, not a glitch. So there's that. So you have the three. I think it's 3 ER large lasers. It's something horrendous. It's like this thing has a ridiculous amount of firepower. But the cockpit is really well defined and good relief. I'm not seeing a ton of mold lines. A little rough right there, but not terrible. Not terrible. You have the hip assembly. Let's look at. So if we're looking at this fella right here, that's the front. That's the front. So again, if you're looking at, if you have one of these and you're wondering what that looks like, that's what that looks like. So that's the hip assembly. And then you have 4 different legs. So you have left, right. This one's kind of like the foot is kind of off to one side, like he's don't even know what that pose would be. He's kind of like trying to stick and move. Like, I don't, oh, that feels weird. And then you have another leg, which is more planted flat on the ground. And then you have this one where his leg is up, running hell for leather at whoever. So there's that. Then you have, so they did this for the Heiress, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like this is kind of a waste of resources, but I also think that it's interesting that they give you these options for custom loadouts. And again, full disclosure, I'm not as familiar with the Black Knight as I would like to. These could all create legitimate configurations. So, so you have 2 sword arms, and for rules mechanics, these are actually considered hatchets. So, because they haven't created. Now that's kind of odd. Okay. Now that's odd. So I wonder how that's supposed to mesh with the thing. Because looking at this, you can kind of see the shoulder joint. So I'm wondering if that's flash, or if that's supposed to. Oh, that's weird. That feels wrong. You know, it just kind of looks like his arms out of socket, out of joint. Same thing with this. So this spare hand, you have the big grabby, hand, and then on this arm, you again have and you can kind of see the plug of resin or whatever that is. So you have this. So the reason why I was kind of complaining about the head pose is that the lack of the head pose takes away a lot of options. So like if your options basically like having the gun point downwards, or you have this pointed this way, and then you have the other arm kind of like this out. So even though it's multi-pose, you still have to kind of stick with within a certain range of motion for it to make sense. That's actually kind of cool. That's kind of a move my camera. So he's kind of reaching out and grabbing for you. And then this one is actually looks like the arm is actually fine. It's not distended. It doesn't have like the weird mystery ball joint clipping through the upper part of the torso. And then of course this fits nice and snugly. And then, of course, we talked about the arms and the legs. So that's it. Critiques. They are cheating with the arm surfaces. So obviously, as you can see on this one, there is no tumor, if you will, coming out of the top of the shoulder. It's not like he's got some sort of weird double or triple jointed shoulder, that's popping out. And this one, the only way you can really make this look reasonable is if you do something like this, or you're restricted to cutting this off, resculpting the top of the shoulder, and then making it, because otherwise it just doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't look right. Like, I'm really trying not to pick on these. I'm really not. But this it just doesn't look like they could have just made this bigger and have been like, oh yeah, the internal shoulder actuator, but instead you have this thing like with a butterfly double shoulder joint, like it's a Gundam. Like, it's a Gundam! And then I guess that works for the big hatchet sword thing. So it gets, if I had to assign it a score, because I like a 5-point score, I would give it a 3 out of 5. It's not terrible, but there's also a lot of quality and look issues. So, like it's funny that if it weren't for like these growths on the outside of the thing, like, and I realized that without those you wouldn't be able to get as much of a range of dynamic poses, but at the same time you didn't need to make, go into Blender or whatever program they use to create this and just say, oh, here's a ball on top of the shoulder that clearly doesn't exist on the normal production miniature. Like, it just looks like the finished result is actually quite, obviously it's very, very dynamic and quite pretty, but it's like I can't help but feel the designers cheated when they made this. So that's the Black Knight. I'm probably gonna eBay this because I have no need for a Black Knight. I'm a clan player. I have my standard Black Knight, which, granted, he's not sprinting and causing a big ruckus. He's not sprinting. He doesn't have a big hatchet, and he's not causing a big ruckus. But at the same time, the designers clearly put in the work in the miniature and didn't just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna slap this ball on the mold and off and call it, shrug our shoulders and call it good. They didn't do that, and I appreciate that. But hey, they did with this thing. So 3 out of 5. I was hoping for a little bit better, but considering that the rest of the Battletech premium miniature line has been noticeably more poor on average, with a higher level of frequency than standard Battletech miniatures, like, I guess I'm not surprised at this point. Let me put it that way. Like I put on a good show about like, but I honestly at this point I'm not surprised. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the premium miniatures, to be perfectly honest with you. So this is probably going to go up on eBay at some juncture, which is sad because I was hoping that this was going to bother the miniature was going to be of a higher quality and bother me less, but clearly it's not. So but yeah, I tried, guys. I tried to take a neutral stance on this and to be happy with what I got, but it's just not. It's not good. It's not good. And anybody that's telling you it is trying to sell something. So they probably shouldn't try to be selling this miniature, because nobody should be trying to sell this miniature because it's not that good. That's it. Dr. Bonsai signing off.